You can get in touch with us if you call us on 01733 602 133. You can text us on 07411 191 062, or you can get in touch on the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And as always, I'm not alone. I am here with my friend and mentor, Shaz Nawaz.
Good afternoon, good evening, Kieron. How are you?
I'm all good, Shaz. I'm all good. How are you?
Nice and hot.
Nice and hot. Enjoying the weather over there, then?
Just the way I like it, as you know.
It's the way I like it too. But we're not talking about weather there. But the less said about that, the better.
How was last week for you? Did you have a good week since we last spoke on the radio?
I've had a fantastic week. I've done a lot of learning since last week. Been down on a road trip to London. Came home, enjoyed that. It's been busy. There's lots going on, lots of developments. How have things been for you in the last week?
Busy, hectic.
Just the way you like it, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing beats a nice, messy, but productive kitchen, and that's what it's like here. We're getting through a lot of stuff, as you know, and you were looking at artificial intelligence and robotics last week, and how that's going to transform the world.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that it's a new frontier. It's a growing frontier, and I think, like most things that have come before it, when the computer first came around, and people were like, "It'll never take off." Look at where we are now. You are talking to us through the power of computing technology.
Absolutely, and here we are.
So I think that's one of those things that we need to make more of an effort as a global community to understand the pros and cons of it, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's here, it's going to stay, and that's I think all she wrote on that one.
Well, that's always the case, isn't it? I mean, I was reading a long time ago, in fact, and comparing when Casio came out. I think it was they came out with a quartz watch or some kind of a digital watch, and all the big Swiss watchmakers said,
"Turn the nose up."
That's never going to work. That's never going to work. And Casio obviously became a phenomenal-sized business.
Yeah,
and we've seen the same with some of the recent examples, such as Blockbuster and Netflix, and something in your neck of the woods, Kodak, who came up with a digital camera, thinking that would never really kick off. Yet they came up with it, by the way, and look where Kodak are now compared to where they were, say, 20 years ago.
Who's Kodak?
Exactly, there you go. You're not old enough to remember these things, young man. And you know what? It was probably the same when emails came out and people were using fax, and said, "Well, who's going to replace fax?"
Yeah,
email, is the best thing since sliced bread. The same with the internet and all of these things. So you're absolutely right.
Time moves forwards.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation about, obviously, a personal interest of mine, as you know, in terms of local economy and shopping centres being what some would call pretty much derelict, as in they aren't like they used to be in the 80s and early 90s. But that's the way the times are moving. We might not like it, by the way, but that's how things are. So you've got to be able to adapt and evolve with these things, because if you don't, you're going to be left behind. Because as you know, a lot of people at the start, apart from obviously the larger companies, said, "What's the point of having a website?"
Yeah,
there's no point.
And now, if you don't have a website,
and again, you're too young to remember. But I remember every year I used to get a big thick book,
yellow pages,
with yellow pages, and I can't remember how many pages it was, but let's call it 500 for the sake of this conversation. And if you see yellow pages now, if it still exists, by the way, and the last time I saw it, it was about 100 pages thick, if that.
I always thought the yellow pages was for you to stand on, so you could, stand tall and kiss the girl under the mistletoe. Is that not what yellow pages were for? TV has lied to me. TV has lied.
These things have multi-uses. Kieran, I just used to put it on the shelf because it looked nice.
Yeah, nice thick book. Shows you're educated.
Shows that I read something. I mean, people didn't pick up that every single book was yellow and had yellow pages on it. So I read a lot.
Yeah, very much so.
I hid it well. I kept my mouth shut.
Sometimes that is the best way.
Absolutely. So last week we were obviously talking about money, weren't we?
Yes, we were. We were talking about money and the traits that money likes.
So, as Cilla Black would say, here's our Graham with a quick reminder, Kieran. Do you want to remind us, or do you want me to do the reminder?
I want you to do the reminder. I can remind if you want, but I think it would sound better coming from you. Here's our Graham.
Aren't you good? So we've covered quite a bit about money in terms of how money moves, why money doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't care about how hard you work. It doesn't care about what you do, because if it did, then those people who perform activities which aren't morally and ethically correct, as judged by a lay person, yet some of those people who perform those activities, undertake those activities, make a lot of money. And that's because money doesn't work on ethics. What it works on is a certain amount of traits. And if you have those traits, money is more likely to come towards you as opposed to being repelled by what you do. And last week we talked about some traits, and I'll quickly run through those. And if anybody hasn't obviously heard them, there's an opportunity for them to listen to the old show from here last week. But the ones were responsibility and how money likes responsibility. We talked about positive attitude, resourcefulness, self-awareness, confidence, financial literacy, which is the big one, because a lot of people who aren't accountants or economists or good at maths tend to shy away from numbers, and they say, well, I'm not really good at maths, I'm not really good at numbers, I can't really manage my money properly.
But it always amazes me, you don't need to be good at maths to be good at money.
Yeah, but it's one of those
misconceptions
or misnomers or misconceptions that people have. It's just a simple exercise, as you know, Kieran. It's just look at your bank statements or bank statement if you have one bank account, your credit card statement or statements, any loans you have, and look at all the money coming in, all the money going out, and then I challenge anybody to go through this. It's a very simple exercise. Okay, once they've been through it and noted everything that comes in and goes out, when they look at what's going out, everybody can cancel 2 or 3 direct debits, standing orders, regular payments, things that they do, activities that they partake in, which will save them a reasonably substantial amount of money every single month. Something as simple as whether it's having a gym membership and you're not going to the gym, whether it's having subscription to Netflix and you're not watching Netflix or Sky, whether it's ordering food and using some of the online food delivery companies, whether it's using too many taxis, whether it's using some other form of transport. I'm not saying people shouldn't use these, by the way, but once you start scrutinizing, you'll see
how often you use them.
Some of these, and I think a lot of people, including myself and yourself, Kieran, sometimes we lose sight of this, but when we see it in black and white, we realize, well, hold on, man. Let's say for you, by the way, Kieran, because I know you like coffee, and you might say, well, hold on, I'm spending, say, £100 a week or a month on coffee. I like coffee. I want to carry on drinking coffee. I knew that one would make you laugh.
Yeah, well, we've had that exact conversation. You know exactly how much I spend on coffee a month.
Yeah. Way more than I do, by the way, for everybody who's listening.
And the figure Shaz quoted isn't far off.
Yeah, exactly. And you might say, well, I could reduce this I'll still be happy and I'm still okay. Okay. Because it's a habit, isn't it?
It is.
So,
it is. And it's a habit I am not keen to lose.
Yeah, but you're not concluded. But if you did the maths and the ultimate, that £100 I could invest, for example, in an ISA, I could invest it in something like, say, through Vanguard or another online platform. And then if you work out, the cumulative impact and the compound impact of that over 20 years, you might soon realize, hold on a moment, this is £100. In 20 years' time, adding £100 every single week or month, depending on your budget, is going to add to tens of thousands, most likely hundreds of thousands of pounds. And that might get you to think, well, I'm willing to make that sacrifice or compromise if this is the outcome and this is what I'm going to do. But obviously, if you would say, I want to spend £100 or on coffee, but you don't have a plan for it, then you don't have a motivation to change. So you've got to have a motivation to change in order to sacrifice and compromise.
Yeah, and if you don't have a plan for that money or that to invest or to decide where it's going to go elsewhere, then there's the very real danger, and you see this happen a lot. People say, well, I cancelled this subscription, I cancelled this, but I've still got no extra money. Well, that's because one of the things that money does is money creates an equilibrium. You have a finite amount of money in you set that limit in your own mind, in your subconscious, and whatever else happens, your money, your bank balance gains equilibrium to that. So if you decide that you can save yourself, say, £500 a month by not buying X, Y, and Z, not having this subscription, that subscription, the other subscription. 500 is a lot of money. I'm just using it as an example. If you don't have a plan for that money, if you don't have a vision of where it's going to go, what you're going to do with it, how it's going to improve your life, then as a default setting, your bank balance will create, and because you've got that level in your own mindset, it will rebalance and create an equilibrium again, and you will be no better off.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, as you know, two of the big things that I see quite often. One is there are lots of people out there who tend to have a mortgage on their house, which is beyond their means.
Yes.
And they could downsize, and they could buy something cheaper. And by selling that house, obviously, if that's their main residence, there's no tax to pay on that. Downsize, and the additional, so let's say you've got a house worth, say, £400,000 with a mortgage of £300,000. Okay, you sell that, and you've got the £100,000 cash come in, and you buy a small flat which works for you as well. For £150,000, and you put a £50,000 deposit down from the £100,000 extra that you had from selling it, and the other £50,000 you invest. Well, the £50,000 that you invest, should be able to get you enough money to pay the mortgage on the flat. So now you're living in a property for free by using your money in a wise way, and therefore whatever you're paying for your mortgage on your £400,000 house with a £300,000 mortgage, that in itself is a saving for you. Well, you can invest that or spend that as you like.
Yeah, and
number two, gone.
And alongside that, you've gone down from a £400,000 house to a £100,000 flat potentially, and you've put a £50,000. That's not a 25% deposit. That's a 50% deposit. So your rates go down again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even like I said, with a £150,000 flat, you put a £50,000 deposit, you got a £100,000 mortgage, for example, that's still a 33% deposit. So you're going to get better rates because you
exactly
got more money down. So that works well for you. And obviously, then the other side of the argument, linking it with money, is why not sell the house totally and then rent premises and then use that £100,000 and invest that, which will cover your rent and give you some money on top.
Yeah, and
Even better, which we can obviously cover in part two when we're focusing mainly on property as opposed to mindset, which we're talking about now.
yep. And the nice thing about that is you could potentially sell your property, go into rented, and then use all of that to invest and to make your life. You could even, if you structured it well and structured it, carefully, not have to downsize at all. Just shift from owning to renting, and then use that the investment assets that you get to generate the income to cover the rent of a like-sized property.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, Kieran, you've done two things there. You've not reduced your quality of life, and with owning the house, you've got some capital appreciation over a period of time. But by investing that money, you're now creating a regular cash flow and income, which is covering your rent. And you've still got the capital appreciation of that investment. As long as you invested wisely, as you and I aren't qualified to give investment advice. We're sharing information. Everybody wants obviously investment advice. They need to go to somebody who's regulated to give investment advice. We're just sharing information. But you could do that. So somebody say, "Oh, if I sell my house, I'm living in rented accommodation. I'm not benefiting from capital appreciation." Well, you are. As long as you've got some equity in the house that you've sold, invest that wisely and sensibly, you've got capital appreciation and monthly cash flow.
And this being a show about mindset, and because this is a big mindset shift for a lot of people. A lot of people are very much aspire to own a property. They aspire to own their own home, to have that on their asset list as I own this. This is mine. And shifting away from owning your own home into rented home, the common phrase you hear all the time is don't rent, it's dead money. But it doesn't have to be. That's what we're saying in this is if you already own a home or you're saving up for a deposit for a home or another investment, if you shift your mindset into I can rent and use that cash as an investment to generate a cash flowing asset to bring the money in, then if I'm not making money, I'm at least breaking even and covering the cost of my rental. So I'm essentially renting for free. Then I've got any other assets or job on top of that to generate my month to month income to bring everything back in line.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And the second one which I wanted to share was some people have their credit cards maxed out, their loans maxed out, and every month they're making minimum or no payments, and then they've got obviously interest that they're paying on, missed payments where they're paying extra for missing that payment. All of that amounts to quite a lot over the year as well. So having a plan to repay that quickly so you're not paying a very high level of interest, again, can accumulate to quite a few hundred or thousands of pounds, depending on how much you have outstanding with loan and credit card companies. So that's that bit there. Finishing off the two other traits on mindset from last week, and this one's quite relevant in terms of where we started today, is money likes adaptability. So those who can adapt to different situations and circumstances, and also have a plan that they can adjust, a financial plan that they can adjust as the circumstances and the environment around them changes. And we talked about PESTEL and what that stands for in terms of political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental issues. And the last one, which is very important, which we ended the first part of our episode last week, was gratitude. So money likes people who appreciate the value of money and are grateful for the abundance that they have in their life. So having an abundance mindset, and a growth mindset, as opposed to having a mindset where it's an unfair world. I'm missing out. Everybody else is doing so well.
Oh, woe is me.
Against me. Exactly. So those were the ones that I talked about last week. There's 5 more I want to cover today, and then that's our first big section on money covered. So the next one I want to share, Kieran, is discipline. And money likes people who have discipline, who stick to a budget, who save consistently, and who avoid overspending. Now, the important point here is everybody that I know and have come across, and I've come across a lot of people over the years, having been in business for over 2 decades, who usually overspend on one thing. Well, like we talked about, it could be coffee for somebody else. Let's say it could be smoking for somebody else. It could be going out eating meals in a restaurant for somebody else. It could be following their favorite football, cricket team, or something else.
Yeah.
So somebody has one thing that they spend too much money on, and that kind of brings them joy in their life. And I get that. But generally speaking, with all of the things, if you can have the discipline to stick to a budget, save consistently, and invest consistently, and avoid overspending, you're more likely to attract money, because money likes that particular trait. With that, we have perseverance, which is an important one. So money likes people who are persistent in achieving their goals, objectives, and especially their financial goals and objectives and aims, and people who don't give up easily, especially when faced with significant or any financial challenges. And we all face challenges in life. What determines the outcome is partly obviously the journey we take and what that journey makes of us, but also how we deal with those issues, because we can kind of bury our head in the sand and say things aren't working, or face the facts and then adapt accordingly. The third one is creativity. So money likes people who find creative ways to increase their income, improve their mindset, and improve and grow their wealth. So it's about thinking, how can I invest differently? We talked about obviously moving out from your own home to possibly downsizing to possibly renting, and how that works well. So money likes people who are creative. Money also likes people who...
There's a lot of talk about, when we talk about money likes creativity and stuff like that, there's a lot of talk about, having a side hustle and understanding what that side hustle is, and, how much time you dedicate to that. And time management is key to a successful side hustle, learning new skill, upskilling, and therefore creatively increasing your flow of money.
100%. The last two, before we finish this part of the episode, is money likes vision. So it likes people who have a very clear vision of what they want to achieve financially and have a plan of how to get there. And this isn't a 68-page business plan. It could be a simple one-page plan of saying, this is where I am, this is what I want to get to, and this is how I think I'm going to get there. The how is not too important. Being clear on what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it is more important. So money likes people who have a vision. Might not be clear at the start, but it becomes clear as things progress. And it's an iterative process.
I mean, to go back to other traits that money that we've discussed that money likes is that creativity, that adaptability, having that vision of, I am at point A, I want to get to point X. Well, okay, you take a few steps along the path and you have to change tact, you have to adapt, you have to be creative with how you get to the next step and how you move on and how you move forward. So all of it ties together nicely within that vision of where you want to be.
Absolutely. And the last one, which is my favorite above all, is money likes humility. So it likes people who are humble and they don't allow wealth to get to their head, where they become arrogant. And as we covered previously, Kieran, there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. And as you know, arrogance or confidence is a small village that sits just south of the city called Arrogance.
Absolutely, so true.
Yeah, confidence is very different to arrogance, and some people might misunderstand or perceive somebody to be arrogant, where somebody is very confident under their own skin and confident about their own abilities. So I don't think people should care too much about how other people judge them, because what other people think of them, as we both said previously in other episodes, is none of their business.
That's one of my favorite quotes in the world.
I know.
What other people think of me, it's none of my business.
I thought I'd cheer you up. See, all these efforts I make you, and just to keep you happy.
All the effort you make to keep me happy. I love it.
There you go. Who else will do that for you apart from Charlie? Oh, I know.
Well, this is true.
Yet you've got two lovely people in your life, aren't you, lucky boy?
I actually have a plethora of fantastic people in my life that serve me well and keep me humble and keep me on track.
There you go. You are a lucky boy. So those are the initial traits I wanted to share on money. Obviously, there are some more which we'll do a deep dive on at some point in the future in our sequence of episodes. But those are the ones that I wanted to get over to people right now. And I challenge anybody and everybody to at least implement 1, 2 of these in their life for 3 to 6 months. Okay, try it out, see how it works. And I'm sure in 3 to 6 months, everybody who's listening to this episode will see some kind of a positive impact. Some will see a profound impact, some will see a small impact, but the majority will see a profound impact. Okay,
but either way, it will be a positive impact as
Absolutely.
we go. And that's all we've got time for before the break. We will see you back here in 5 minutes' time.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Asr Azan. This Azan is sponsored by Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا
If you want to learn about
Salam alaikum and welcome back to the Property Wise Property Show here on Salam Radio. I'm your host, Kieran Bateman. I'm here with Shaz Nawaz through the power of technology. If you want to get in touch with us, then you can call the studio on 01733 602 133. You can text us on 07411 191 062, or you can comment on any of our live streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So many ways to get in touch, and we would love to hear from you. Shaz, are you there?
I'm here, of course. Where else would I be?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. Where else would you be if you could be anywhere in the world right now?
Monday evenings are dedicated to this particular show.
Every week, regardless of where we are in the world, even if we have to zoom in from Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what Shaz is doing.
That's our commitment.
What time is it over there, Shaz?
It's a 4-hour time difference, so it's 10:30 at the moment.
10:30. That's dedication, listeners.
And when the clock changes, it'll be 11:30 out here, as you know.
Yep. When the clocks fall backwards.
Yep. Absolutely.
But this is what we do.
Exactly. This is our commitment, and we're going to carry on doing it because we love sharing information. We get some fantastic feedback, as you know, from people.
Yeah, we really, really do. And, you know, speaking of, I appreciate all the feedback, both good and bad.
Yeah.
And
but feedback is the breakfast of champions, isn't it?
It really is. And everything that we say and all the information we give is purely for informational purposes. Neither of us are regulated financial advisors. If you want financial advice, go and speak to a professional. Now that public service announcement's out of the way.
You make us sound so bad like we're not professionals.
Well, I'm not.
You are. Speak to somebody who's authorized to give you financial advice and regulated, unlike us.
Yes. That's what I meant to say.
You just made it sound like we're from the Wild West and two cowboys, Kieran. You've killed us off now. Nobody's listened to our show ever again.
Well, I think people know exactly who you are, Shaz, and I think they know that you know full well exactly what you're talking about. Because you've been doing this for some number of years now.
Yeah, I've got a few grey hairs to show the effort that I've put in over the years.
And I'm starting to go grey now too, you know. Keep finding grey hairs in the beard. It's not good.
So you're going to go grey and I'm going to grow a longer beard, am I?
Yep.
Just to stay in tune with each other.
Just to stay in tune with each other.
Good. Let's do it.
I would love to see how long you could grow your beard, Shaz. I think it would be fantastic.
Well, I'll share an interesting story about a beard, which I hope people will find useful. There's an old man, 145 years old. Let's just say he had a long beard, a very, very long beard, down to his knees. And he was sat somewhere with a young child. Let's call it a great-grandchild or a great-great-grandchild. And they said, "Grandpa, I have a question for you." Grandpa said, "What's the question?" He said, "When you go to sleep, is your bed outside the duvet or inside the duvet?" And the old man never had a good night's sleep after that. Because up until then, as you know, Kieran, he never thought about whether his beard should be out of the duvet or inside the duvet. But since the grandchild had raised Grandpa's awareness, he now wasn't sure which way he should sleep. So it's interesting when somebody brings your awareness like we're about to right now, this episode.
You must love the innocence of children and the joy of their questions.
I tell you what, they come up with some really smart stuff, really smart stuff. Unbelievable. My youngest son, who's 5 now, and this is going back a couple of years ago. So he started talking really, really early, and there's a point in the story, by the way. And as you know about my love affair with Avengers, and his,
I do.
and he also loves Avengers, and he wanted to buy a toy. I said, "Aren't you a lucky boy? And you can, at times, within reason, by the way, with some discipline, have to choose these toys. You're a lucky boy, aren't you?" He said, "Daddy, I'm not the lucky one. You're the lucky one, because you're lucky because you can buy me things that I want to buy. And when you buy me things, it makes you happy. If I didn't make these requests and I wasn't here, then you wouldn't be happy, would you?"
Oh, he's got you there.
And I said, "Boy, there's not much I can say to that."
Is he
And that was at
destined?
the age of 3, Kieran. Do you know what I mean? That was at the age of 3.
I feel he's destined for a career in politics with an answer like that.
Well, I was hoping you would take up accountancy and property, by the way, but I might be disappointed. But a pessimist is rarely ever disappointed, by the way, so I'll continue living that life.
Okay. And speaking of getting involved in property, that segues nicely into the property part of our show. This week, I thought we would discuss something that we have spoken about at length between ourselves, and we discussed.
You've been thinking about stuff?
I try to think every day. Some days I fail.
How about you just turn up and just park your car outside and come up to the radio station and just make up stuff? So you mean you prepare and you research and you get your ducks in a row and deliver really meaningful information, am I?
I like to deliver correct and accurate information, and whilst some of it I could do off the top of my head, as I'm sure you could as well, I do like to make sure that any information I do give is true and accurate and reflective.
So you are a professional, aren't you? Going back 5 minutes ago. So you are a professional. You do things professionally.
I try to, yes.
Good man. Okay, sorry for taking that.
No. I enjoy these segues left and right.
Let's get back on the motorway.
Let's get back on the motorway. And this week we're going to talk about power teams and the people you should have in your power teams. The people in their people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because let's be honest, quite often we get asked about who should you include in your power team, you know, as a property investor, as a property businessman, who's in your power team, you know, and ultimately, you know, when it comes to investing in property, when it comes to running a property business, you can't do everything yourself. As much as we would like to think we can, you can't. And it's important to have a team of experts around you that know their individual fields very, very well. And they are the ones that will help you achieve your investment goals. They'll help you achieve your property business goals. And they will help get you there in general. And they're also, once you start networking out, they will know other people and they will know other investors. And it's also another great source of networking. So without further ado, the first person on my list that I think you should have in your power team isn't necessarily someone that you will pay as an employee within your power team, but it's somebody that you will use, and getting to know a good one is paramount to running a good property business, getting good property investments. Any guesses who I'm talking about, Shaz?
I think it would be a good mentor or coach, if I had to guess.
Absolutely that. And that's the thing. If you, and when you're talking about mentors or coaches, pick, do your due diligence, as we spoke about, in a previous show, do your research on them. But someone you can talk to, someone that you can connect with, someone that has done it all before. And that's kind of the key point there, because there are a lot of paper mentors out there and paper coaches. And by that I mean they can put forward a good sales story, and that's all it is. It's a sales story. They've not been there. They've not done that. They've not got the scars of battle from, being in this business for 20 years like our Mr. Nawaz has, and actually understanding the fundamentals of where things go wrong. Because it's relatively easy, let's be honest, to do a bit of research and be able to talk a good game. But the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is in having someone in your corner that has been there, that has done that, so that when you go to them and you go, Shaz, this is the situation I find myself in, what do you reckon? And then Shaz will say...
Absolutely. I think having a mentor is one of the best things I ever did.
Yeah, me too.
And absolutely, because you can't know everything, and most people listening right now or at some point in the future to this particular episode would agree that you don't know what you don't know. So how do you go about finding out what you don't know? Well, you talk to people who you respect, admire, look up to, or who have done, as you've said, what you're looking to do, or who haven't done what you're looking to do, but have expertise. Like it's quite often people ask you, what's the difference between a mentor and a coach? A mentor is somebody who's done what you're looking to do and can help guide you through that particular path. And a coach is somebody who hasn't done what you're looking to do, but either has the skills or the aptitude or the attitude to get you there by asking you the right questions and pointing you in the right direction. So by way of example, if you think about a particular, let's say, football coach or a tennis coach who hasn't won, let's say, any Premier League titles, if you're talking about the English League, or hasn't won any Grand Slams, and there's some come to mind, but they have players who they coach and they win Grand Slams. That's because they're a good coach and they're able to coach them on their weaknesses and how to improve their game, but they haven't done it. So a mentor's done what you're looking to do. A coach is somebody who hasn't, who has the relevant skills to guide you and navigate you through that particular path.
And push you to achieve that greatness.
Absolutely. I mean, we all sometimes are guilty of staying within our comfort zone, and a good mentor and coach will push you to your limits, wants to understand what your limits are, to get the best out of you. And I think that is all well and good as long as a mentor or coach has your best interests at heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, this is that one person in your power team that when you get to your problems and issues, your mentor will go, well, the last time I encountered this problem, this was a solution, but you need to find something that works for you. And they will educate you on possible solutions and what they did. But they'll also be able to be, and this is the nice thing about mentors, is reflective on what they did. And if I encountered this problem again, I would do it differently by doing X, Y, and Z. And there you've suddenly got a bespoke answer to your question or problem that you couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah, it reduces your learning curve. It should reduce the number of mistakes you make. And being in business, whether it's property business or something else, it is a lonely business. Somebody who you can trust and kind of talk to and share everything openly, okay, is in a safe environment and place, is cathartic, but also very helpful. Because if you're on your own and you've got no one to talk to, it's a very, very lonely business in a very kind of deep and dark place, which isn't good for anybody.
No, and people are very quick to judge the man at the top and go, well, you own the business. And there can be a lot of, I'm not going to say resentment, but misunderstanding there, because people aren't in your shoes running a business, running a property business, investing in property the same way you are. And if you've got a mentor, a group of a network around you of like-minded individuals that are doing what you're doing, then it makes dealing with all of the issues and any of the problems so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Yes, spot on.
And so get yourself a mentor, join your mastermind. Life is good. And they will be able to supply you with lots and lots of information. And Fiaz has commented in, and he says, property investment isn't rocket science. No, you're absolutely right. It's not. It's one of the safest quick return businesses in there. All you need is a good bank manager and a good letting agent to get maximum return from your property investment, whether it's a refurbishment or a property extension or a flat. Real test is how astute you are at putting bigger deposits rather than 100% mortgages. With the interest rates going up, this will definitely separate the boys from the men in the current times. I would say on the surface, yes. What do you think, Shaz? But deep dive, obviously there are, a good bank manager will get you so far, but a good network will get you so much further.
I think it all depends on what one's looking to achieve. And there's never one right or wrong answer, because as we all know,
one size does not fit all.
One size doesn't fit all, and excuse the cliche, but it's 50 shades of grey. So if somebody was looking to buy or thinking of buying one or two investment properties, as Fiaz says, and they work hard and pay their taxes and then save up and then buy a property once they've got a decent sized deposit, and using Fiaz's kind of question observation, have a decent sized deposit, let's call it 30%, 40%, 50%, it works fine. But somebody who's, let's say, a bit more ambitious or aggressive in their approaches, I want to buy 4 or 5 properties per year over the next 5, 10, 15 years, then obviously if they've got a limited amount of income through their salary, then they've got to find creative ways and opportunities of doing that, because if their income is not going to increase, then their deposit level is not going to increase, so they're going to obviously get to a glass ceiling. So it all depends on perspective on what people are looking to achieve. So they can do it nice and slow and steady, and I think the route Fiaz is sharing absolutely works. If somebody wants to be a bit more ambitious and aggressive with property, then there are so many different property strategies which we've talked about on previous episodes that people can tune into, where they would need support. And with the way that generally business works is the higher the risk, the higher the reward. But with risk comes reward, but also comes the challenge of making a loss, because that's basically what risk is, isn't it? It's exposure to loss. So when you're looking to go into commercial conversions, for example, or you're looking to do flips, or you're looking to do self-accommodation, or you're looking to do new builds or lease purchase lease options, that type of stuff, it starts getting sophisticated and things can go wrong. And if anybody listening in doesn't know any of those are, we have covered them, like I said, on previous episodes. So simple, straightforward, plain, vanilla, buy-to-let, slow and steady will work absolutely fine. As Fiaz had said, if you're looking to do something more significant and substantial, then I think you need people around you. But I firmly believe you need people around you who can support you on that journey, because doing it on your own, there are people who have done it on their own, by the way, but they are few and far between.
Yeah, they really are. And
most important, sorry, Kieran,
yep.
To add in there is something that I've learned is success leaves clues. So if you're really interested, and again we've talked about this in the past, is you do your research and you find people who've done what you're looking to do, and you talk to 5, 10, 15, however many you can,
and you
as you talk to them,
see where that leads you.
You emulate them and say, what have they done? Well, they had what you're talking about here, they had a power team, they had a coach, they had a mentor, they had support, like Fiaz said, they had a bank manager, a good bank manager, they had a good letting agent, they had good support around them that helped them achieve that, including obviously some of the power team members you're going to talk about now. So they had a network, as you say, and a team of people who helped them get there. And then so look at the success and emulate it and do what those people have done. It's not rocket science. Piaz is right.
No,
But you've got to find.
He's absolutely right on that. It's not. And one of the people that he mentioned there, the estate agent, the letting agent, is a key member of your power team, because they are the people that will, once you get to know them, once they know, like, and trust you, they will get you potentially properties before they go on the market. They will, they will speak to vendors if they know you are the sort of property investor that gets the deal done, and they've got a vendor that wants a quick sale. They want to get things shifting quickly for whatever reason. There's 101 reasons that there could be. Rather than putting it straight on the market, they may say to their vendor, if you want quick, I can suggest this to a couple of investors that I know. Maybe you are amongst that panel, and before it goes on your property market sites, your Rightmoves, their own website, your Zooplas, things like that, they'll come to you and go, This is within your area. This is the type of properties that I know you look for, because we've had that discussion. We've had this conversation. We've done a couple of deals together. We know this. What do you think? And
Absolutely.
they will then bring you those deals before they hit the market, so to speak. So you will get potentially more deals coming through, and some of them will be below market value, adding to your profit line.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
And
so who are some of these power team members then?
So some of these power team members are, one of my favourite power team members for a property business is Shaz himself, a good property tax accountant. I mean, Shaz obviously doesn't need one; he is one. I'm sure you don't have one on your team, but I need you on my team.
I want plenty of good accountants around me, as you know.
Yeah,
you
do.
Keep me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, very much so. I always think, a good mortgage broker that can deal with, and depending on how sophisticated you want to be, how creative you want to get with it, rather than just straight mortgages that are as most people understand them. You can get creative with like bridging loans and angel finance, and a good mortgage broker / financier can help find those things for you. I think that they're an important member of the team, and then obviously alongside that you need a good lawyer. Good property lawyer, somebody that understands property law, and someone that, and this is something that comes up in Shaz's talks quite a lot. Lawyers, there are sections on your basic that lawyers, I can't remember what the form's called, but
are we talking about different disciplines and expertise in different areas?
Yes, and the fact that some lawyers will fill in bits that are related to tax, but if you go to a property tax specialist, they will advise you differently to, not let the lawyers fill all of it in, and having a lawyer that understands where their line is versus where everyone else's line is, and they can work collaboratively with everyone within your power team, I think is very, very important.
But lawyers, Kieran, aren't able to give you tax advice because they're not tax experts. So if you look at their terms and conditions, their engagement letter, it'll state clearly there, we can't give you tax advice. You need to seek a tax specialist. Obviously, the bigger firms have those people
within the firm as well,
as part of their team, so they can do it. But the majority of smaller firms, high street firms, don't. So, and they will say, go and talk to an accountant or a tax specialist who can guide and advise you.
Yeah, and
that's important.
But if you don't raise it with them, they may not think to bring it up, and it's having that conversation with them to know where they are and where everyone else sits within your power team, and
Absolutely.
then depending on whether you are buy-to-letting, investing to buy, flipping, or commercial conversioning, depending on your strategy, you may need a quantity surveyor, a builder, contractor, the people that can actually do the work. You might need a property manager to manage your rentals in your stead, so that you can manage the business and they will manage the tenants, the maintenance, and all the rest of that. And
that's vital, isn't it? Because
really is vital.
you need these people around you, just like any other business. But I think most of the businesses people recognize this, but obviously sometimes people either fail to fully observe, understand, grasp, acknowledge that these are really important people that you need in your team.
Absolutely, they are. And we will continue with the power team next week. But until then, Salam alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Are you looking for a career where you can make a difference? At Cross Keys Homes, we work with our local communities to create opportunities that change lives. We're looking for enthusiastic, talented people to join our team, from apprenticeships to senior management positions.